So I finished up my latest case project, and here you can see what a mobile setup might look like. It can be used as a monitor stand and uses an internal power supply. So all you have is a single cord. As close as it is now to the mouse pad, you don't even need this extension for the receiver. And if my graphics card had USB Type-C, the monitor could be used with just one cable. The case is built around and made possible by this power supply from HDPLEX. It allows for a case that is the size of the Flex RTX sandwich style cases, but fits graphics cards that are about 20 centimeters and 2.5 slots. Which is great because even though Navi 23 was perfect for ITX cards, this is the only model we got, and it is to this day basically unavailable and 200 euros more expensive than the cheapest 6600 XT. If you bought a Nano 7 years ago, the best you can do is a side grade to the 6500 XT. My case design is again very simple and functional, and most importantly easy to complete without much equipment. I ordered 2 sheets of metal already bent and cut to size. All that is left to do is to mount standoffs, make cutouts and cut threads. And all this happened before I or anyone else even had the power supply, so all I could do was hope that it would be good and that it would fit into my case. I decided on the 6600 Pulse from Sapphire and deshrouded it for looks and better fans, which was easy to do. 2 of the 4 screws that hold the shroud also hold the backplate, so these 2 I replaced. Alternatively, you could also remove the backplate entirely, but then you would have to remove the heatsink to get to the 2 remaining screws that hold the backplate. There's plenty of space over the graphics card for bigger fans, but I went with 2 92mm ones because even they are a little bit wasted on the small heatsink underneath the big shroud. For the CPU I got this frame and reworked my mounting of the boxed heatsink so I would be able to zip tie a fan directly onto it. Both heatsinks pull air from the same side, which makes the case design more simple because only one panel needs to have openings, and it makes placement of the case more simple because there's just one side that you can't block off. It also uses the same riser cable as many of the sandwich style cases, rather than something more niche. For the power button I used a 4-pin fan cable, which I had left over from a previous mod on my R9 Nano. The power supply arrived at the end of September, and it has been working reliable since then and without any coil whine. And the only thing I needed to do to make it fit in the case was to remove this locking pin on the 24-pin connector. And this was to be able to move the power supply further away from the graphics card. The need for this might differ with different graphics card and mainboard combinations, but the removal of the locking pin should resolve this issue in any case. These are the maximum values I reached after a couple rounds of HDPLEX Legends. My GPU maintains 2 GHz and the memory is at stock speeds. As you can see, the temperatures are nice and low, and the voltage is also very low. With my settings, the GPU chip power draw stays at about 80 watts. All my fans run at fixed speed and are controlled from the main board, so there's no RPM here. I underclocked and undervolted the GPU slightly, and for some reason I had to add 10 MHz to the VRAM to get the stock speed. The power limits I didn't touch because I didn't see a reason to do so. I'd say the GPU hotspot has about 20 degrees headroom. This should be enough to account for higher temperatures in summer. And I need to watch out for it because, like I said, I run at a fixed fan speed. I undervolted my i3 to get it below 1 volt, and this resulted in an even lower power consumption with peaks of 25 watts and a crazy low peak temperature of 53 degrees in HDPLEX Legends. And here's how it behaves when it is tasked a little more. I did 5 sine bench runs and the score is a little lower, 400 points, lower than usual, probably because I'm recording with OBS. And the peak power draw here is 42 watts, which is 10 watts down from stock. At first I wanted to do 3 runs, but then the temperature got close to 70 degrees and I wanted to see whether it could reach it in 2 more runs. It couldn't. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.